This is On the Block with Strick and Nate.
One step closer to the weekend. Shout out to anyone who might be in the car right now. You have almost made it. 2:05 Thursday afternoon. Thank you for joining us. My name's Nate Brennan. He's the Husker Hall of Famer, 9-year NBA vet Eric Strickland. 402-464-5685. Sutter Heyman text line, Hot Enough Lincoln hotline. As always, we want to hear from you on the block. You can also check us out on the Sutter Heyman Jewelers video stream. See what's going on here in studio on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Give us a like, share, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff on all of those platforms. We appreciate each and every one of you.
That we do.
Happening just about an hour ago, the Huskers are officially eliminated from the NCAA tournament in the Sweet 16. They will fall to the 3-seed Oregon, again in the Sweet 16, so that will leave them out of this year's Final Four. A good run for the ladies last year, came a little bit short this year, but still a successful season. We were talking about that a little bit in the crossover. If you're blaming John Cook for this one, I think you might need to reevaluate that take. I don't know if that's a great take. I don't know if you should go with that moving forward, but that's all right. Again, 402-464-5685, Sutter Heyman text line, Hot Enough Lincoln hotline. We'll bring him in. Strick, what's going on?
Yay, it's another day, and it is misty outside. Everyone be careful if you're on the roads today. Yes. It is very misty. It is very cold, and therefore it could be very icy. So our cares and go out to you and the families as they make their ways and on the highways and byways of the day.
Yes.
But today is a thirsty Thursday.
Thirsty Thursday. That's right. Kevin Meyer will be here. Myers Cork and Bottle. Shout out to him. Can't wait to see what he's bringing. Strick's picks. Jay's going to call in today, so that means you'll be here in studio. Strick, get a little Strick's picks action as we always do on Thursday. Also, Strick, that reminded me. Here's a little 10-11 now weather trivia for you. We have not had measurable snow yet in Lincoln. So by measurable snow, they say, I believe it's half an inch, and they measure it at the Lincoln Airport. So the Lincoln Airport has not seen measurable snow up to this point in time. Do you know the latest into the year Lincoln's ever gone without seeing measurable snow? We're inching closer to it. We're getting close.
2 months.
No, what do you know? Like a date?
Oh, when the date?
Yeah, like what day was it?
I would say the 21st.
The 31st. So the latest Lincoln has ever gone without seeing measurable snow is December 31st. And if you look at the 10-day forecast, over the next 10 days, it looks like we might not have snow. So that's a pretty cool trivia. You guys can take that to the dinner table with your family later tonight. Again, there's a little bit of a wintry mix coming here in a couple hours. So like Strick said, please be safe out there on the roads. But doesn't look like we'll have measurable snow. So definitely something to keep out for next Tuesday. It looks like there might be snow. Again, something to look out for. Pretty cool trivia. Again, you can bring that to the dinner table. December 31st, the latest Lincoln's ever gone without seeing any measurable snow. Again, 402-464-5685. We're going to have a little bit of fun here, and I want you guys to chime in with us. You can also check us out on the Sutter Heyman Jewelers video stream. So, as you know, Strick, there have been a ton of contracts dropping in Major League Baseball. One that made Rico very happy. I'll have to look at the actual details of the contract, because I know that the Padres offered him more to begin with, but also Xander Bogaerts signing with the Padres last night. So if they were able to get Aaron Judge and Xander Bogaerts, that would have been huge. So Xander Bogaerts signs for an 11-year, $280 million deal with the Padres. Aaron Judge, 9 years, $360 million.
Lord have mercy.
Wilson Contreras, 5 years, $87 million. And Masataka Yoshida, he's that Japanese phenom. He will sign with the Red Sox for 5 years, $90 million. So
what about my guy Ohtani?
Ohtani, I don't think he's signed his deal yet. I'm pretty sure he's still on his Japanese deal. Also, Trey Turner, I almost forgot, signed 11-year, $300 million deal with the Phillies. Lots of deals being thrown out around there, and I know these are only the first dominoes to fall. So it really got me thinking. One, I want to talk about these contracts and get some of your thoughts, because I know when you were playing, Strick, unfortunately, if you were born 20 years later, you probably would have been a very wealthy man sitting across from me. It might have been asking you a little bit of an allowance or something, but that's it's really exploded. Not that you didn't do well in your NBA career, by the way. 9-year NBA vet. Shout out to you, Strick. Making pretty good cash over there. But I digress. These contracts now, and I feel like especially in baseball, have not only gotten so large, it's the timing of it. And you bring up the Miguel Cabreras, the Albert Pujols. You can throw Bobby Bonilla into that. I know that his contract was restructured, but he's going to be getting paid for another 13 years.
My goodness, is that the best retirement plan on earth?
I mean, he is brilliant for that. He is an absolute genius for that. Because if you invest correctly, he probably doesn't have to work another day in his life. He's probably not working. But there's two questions to this. One, I want to talk about those contracts and get your thoughts on the longevity of them. Number two, and this is the question that I want to ask the Starter Heyman text line, 402-464-5685. Worst contracts in professional sports. So there are a few that came to my head. You can call in too. I'm curious to think, because there's a wide spectrum. There's a lot. I know there's a lot of hockey fans that would throw some hockey names out there. The first one that comes to my mind is someone that grew up in Virginia. There were a lot of Washington fans, formerly the Redskins, now the Commanders. Albert Hainsworth. Woo! I don't know if you remember Albert Hainsworth's trick.
He stole
the bag.
He stole the money.
That is legalized.
He walked in the bank and just basically said, "Give me the money."
Legal bank robbery. Bobby Bonilla, you can throw into that category too. I don't know if you remember. Chandler Parsons is a big one that always sticks out.
He's one of them.
So go ahead and let us know, because I'm curious, because everyone has a different opinion on this, and I want to know which one's actually the worst.
I got one for you.
Says Jimbo Fisher.
There you go. That's a good one.
We're talking coaches. Yeah, that's probably up there.
I got one I want to throw at you. Okay. Just to get, again, it just seems to me as if baseball just feels as if like they've got continuous money growing on trees, because they're just giving it away like
to everyone.
Like you know what, on Figueroa, if you know, you know. They're giving it away like that.
Gene's got jokes. He says Scott Frost.
Oh, hey. No, I'm gonna throw one out on you. Carl Crawford,
he's fast. I remember he got a lot of steals back
Carl
to the Rays.
Crawford with the Red Sox. They thought they had the next star.
Yes.
And they signed him to a 7-year, $142 in 2010, and played just 2 seasons for the Red Sox. He only hit .255 in his first year and played 31 games in his second, then was traded to the Dodgers and did nothing else. Bye-bye. Let me get that. Let me get that. Let me get that.
Actually, to be honest with you, Strick, I think that's part of the problem is when you say that you're forgetting about guys, that's probably not a very good deal. For what it's worth, too, I don't know if you knew this. Miguel Cabrera is still getting paid.
Oh, yeah.
8 years, $248 million. I know Albert Pujols was also in that range. Your boy Gilbert Arenas was making 6 years, $111 million for the Wizards. So Albert Pujols actually was. It was 10 years, $240 million. Jacoby Ellsbury, we're staying on this baseball trend, 7 years, $153 million. Chris Davis for the Orioles, 7 years, $161 million. This is my question, Strick, and I don't know if it's just a baseball thing or what it is. The thing that I don't even have issue with the money as much as why are these contracts so long?
Yeah, I don't understand that for baseball either. I mean, I understand that your tenure and the possibility of you playing is longer in baseball, but at the same time, can you maintain that type of just consistency? I don't know if it was the Barry Bonds, the King Griffey Juniors, those type of guys that they didn't, do that with, that they finally said, oh, when we get a young phenom, we're going to hold on to him for the tenure. I don't know what it was, but I can tell you that there is somebody out there that gave away the money to multiple people, and it cost him his GM job. Who am I talking about? It's in the NBA. For a team He was a former player. If you can find that out, Stricky may give away some Stricken.
All right, what is it again?
Who is the person that gave away the bag to multiple people? He was a GM, he was a player, and he was also a coach in the NBA. And I'll tell you who the players are he did it to.
I think I know who it is. Am I allowed to answer? I'm not going to answer. I think I know
him
who
text
it is,
940-464-5685. He gave it away to 2 people, and it cost him his job.
Michael Jordan, Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah Thomas, that's it.
Is that it?
Yeah, whoever that is,
Magic Johnson.
we're going to give him the string. Here's who he gave it to. He gave it to Jerome.
He was a GM?
Yes, he was a GM coach.
For the Pacers?
No, he was only a coach for the Pacers. Then he left there. They gave him the GM coach job at New York.
I did not know that.
Now, I could be wrong. Maybe he didn't coach, but I know he was definitely a GM.
No, he was a GM. Okay.
So Isaiah Thomas gave it to a guy named Jerome James. Try to go back in your backlog and remember who that was. He gave James a 5-year, $30 million deal in 2005, the year I retired, as a center. He played in 2 playoff games for the Sonics. Injuries, weight, all of that was his main issue. And then they ended up trading him to the Bulls. Here's the other part. Another big guy that had the same type of problem. Gave you only numbers when it counted and then disappeared on you. The other guy's name was Eddie Curry.
Eddie Curry. Oh, I know Eddie Curry.
He gave Eddie Curry
was a big dude.
6 years, $60 million after he averaged 1 year of 19.5. And then in the second year, his numbers started to tail off. And then he signed that deal also in 05.
05 was the year to get paid.
It was a year to get paid. The year I left, everybody starts getting paid.
Right.
But yeah, he was a big risk, and it cost him, I think probably his job.
For some reason, I want to say that Alonzo Mourning at one point in time was the highest paid player in the NBA.
No, you want me to tell you one?
Wasn't Alonzo Mourning?
No. Let me throw this out at you, because this is where the snowball started going downhill in the NBA. You ready? There's a guy by the name. You would all know him. He finds himself coaching now in the college ranks. You guys are very familiar with this guy. He's very much close to us in the region. We see him often, and he's up in the north side, somewhere next to Michigan, and, kind of in that area close to, he coaches in that area close to Canada. His name is Juwan Howard. Juwan Howard hit the lottery, my guy. Here's how he did it. Juwan Howard signed a contract in 2000, in 90, was it 96? I think it might have been 96. I could be wrong. Let me see. Yes, it was. Stricky was right. The year I came in, it was in 96. He signed a $111 million deal, but it was a carryover. So really it was 105 million and 375,000. 15 a year, Juwan Howard. And he didn't give you any numbers to fit that bill. So everybody in the power forward for position, KG, Chris Webber, all of them, Sean Kemp, everybody and their mama's looking at it like, I give him work every time I see him.
Sean Kemp was nice.
I'm about to get the bag. He opened the floodgates for everybody to get the money. And you know what? They did. That's when they did the contract maxing after Juwan Howard. It was open. And then once Juwan Howard signed that deal, everybody's like, wait a minute, hold on, this is about to get crazy. They started putting ceilings on it. That's what happened when they signed that deal.
Really?
Juwan Howard.
You're taking me back, Strick. I don't remember any of this. The texter says, Strick, your boy Cuban gave Dame Pierre $73 million.
I can't believe it.
I forgot about Eric.
He's an Eric, and I like him, but my goodness. That is one, too. Mark Cuban gave a lot of money. He gave a lot of people
Dirk
money. He gave, but Dirk deserved the money.
Yes, he did.
But here's another one I'm going to throw at you guys on the NBA. Washington Wizards. Orlando Magic. His name was Gilbert Arenas.
Yes. Now I know that.
God.
Agent Zero, baby. Oh, yeah.
In July of 2008, he signed a 6-year deal worth $111 million. He played in 2 games in that season. due to injury and then was suspended the next season
because he had a gun in his
because of
locker.
the gun situation.
Yes.
And then he was traded to the Magic in 2010 and just fell off the map.
That was
and
actually
he's still getting paid.
He's still getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
That one was actually tough for me to watch because, again, from Virginia, tons of Wizards fans, and everybody had a Gilbert Arenas jersey. I remember in elementary school, because you know how they used to have the old retro gold jerseys with the OG Wizards font?
Yeah.
Everyone had a Gilbert Arenas jersey, and he just completely fell off.
Orlando did give up the money, Texter 3764. They were willing to give up that cashola. Yes, if he was going to Orlando, they was giving it away. And they gave it to like Gordon, which I couldn't believe because his game was not on that level. Yes, he was a dunk champion, but no.
Oh, Aaron Gordon?
Aaron
He's with
Gordon.
The Nuggets now,
Yeah,
I'm pretty
garbage.
sure.
But here's the one in football.
Lewis got paid?
Yeah, he got paid.
I don't remember.
Coming out of St. Louis, yeah. I mean, out of Seattle.
The funky shot.
It was ugly.
It was he went in, though.
But it was in. The ugliest shot in the NBA. Sauter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. Who has the ugliest shot in the NBA that you've ever seen?
Was it when you played?
No, it's other people. I'm gonna throw a couple out there. Jamal Wilkes is one of them.
Okay.
Los Angeles Laker. He had the one where you went behind the head and he slung it.
That's what Michael Kidd-Gilchrist does.
Oh, it's ugly.
Michael Kidd-Gilchrist does.
Believe it or not, one of the best shooters in the NBA with an ugly jumper, Reggie Miller.
Yeah.
He had a thumb. He I don't know how he made the shots he made, but I have a number one favorite, and I'm gonna say it, but I'm gonna wait for you guys. Yes, Matt, you said who the Raptor.
He just flung it up.
He is the Raptor. The Raptor. I don't know what the heck that was, but he shot like a little Raptor.
He would give you buckets though.
But he would get money. It would make that stuff. You're like, how is that stuff going in? Until he changed his shot, I would say another one would have been the ball.
Lonzo
Ball.
Lonzo
he came across the face. It was ugly. But yeah, there was a lot of them out there.
Kevin Martin had a pretty ugly
Oh,
shot.
Bill Cartwright. JR, yes, sir. Oh, I don't even know how he made that stuff, man. It was ugly. You're absolutely right. That thing was ugly.
Let me hear
Oh,
this.
Lou Williams.
Lou Williams. That's a good one too.
Lou Williams had
There were some ugly shots.
There were some ugly shots.
But hey, if it goes in and you play, I would always think about the ugly batting stance. You remember Kevin Youkilis?
Remember Kruk? Remember Kruk?
Yes.
He had a funky one too.
Dwight Howard.
And Tomey.
Ooh,
Dwight Howard's contracts are always terrible.
And he had the funky shot. So did Joakim Noah. How he'd spin it sideways.
Oh,
it was like a twister.
Oh yeah, it was ugly. But I do got one more player, and I think he's my number one.
I think Albert Hainsworth is my number one.
My number one,
I think it's my bad.
Is Jamarcus Russell.
That one is difficult because that's how you interpret it. Because I want to get into something too. I am a firm believer if you get hurt, you're not a bust. Greg Oden was not a bust. Did he work out? Did he pan out? No. But Greg Oden, when he played, was very good. Greg Oden was always hurt. So I have my own interpretation. Do you consider rookie contract a bad deal?
See,
because they haven't played yet.
But see, then they have scale now. So you can't really fall victim to that. Whereas then they did it.
They just paid
so
him.
you could just.
How much did he end up making?
Jamarcus Russell hit for 6 years, $63 million, and then $32 million of it was guaranteed.
He only had 18 off a rookie contract.
18 touchdowns and 23 interceptions. Go figure. That was a travesty of a contract, if you think about it.
I did not know he was making $6
What's your
million.
evaluation program like? Did everybody lose their job on that one?
Oh, absolutely. On the Jamarcus Russell one, that one, okay, that was bad.
Yeah, Ray, I agree with you. I should exclude him, but yeah, for me, that was horrible. That was just a horrible evaluation all up front.
I mean, because you got to remember too in that draft. Well, he didn't really pan out either. They had Brady Quinn. Brady Quinn was right there because I remember I was pretty upset. I thought he was supposed to go. Yeah, I thought he was supposed to go number one overall, and then he went to the Browns, and his career tanked, just like everyone else that goes to the Browns, unfortunately. So, that's. But I think I throw Albert Hainsworth is probably at the top for me, and I think Bobby
Jimbo Fisher's hilarious. I think
it's funny,
hilarious.
And I'm gonna throw Bobby Bonilla just because of the fact that he's still getting paid, and he'll get paid for another 13 years too. He's got his own day, Bobby Bonilla Day.
Whew. Yeah, I would say that. Some people say Michael Vick. I don't really think so. I just think that getting into the trouble. Michael Vick, listen, he came back. Michael Vick's got a cannon, and he could run, and he could throw.
The Eagles,
he did good, bro. Yeah. So I'm not going to really say that. There's some other notables. Allen Houston, when they gave him 6-year, $100 million on bad knees, that was a bad deal for some. He had bad. He was injury prone. I can't even say that. What's my guy from Duke? Grant Hill. I can't even say Grant Hill's deal was a bad deal. That was an injury situation, but some would say that was a bad deal.
And that's the thing.
I can't even say that.
I have always said if someone gets hurt, I don't consider that a bad contract.
Do you think Albert Pujols is a bad contract?
I think it was a terrible contract.
Yeah.
That's my point. That's why Aaron Judge, and I hope Rico's not listening because he's going to come over here banging on the glass. Yes, Russell Wilson was a terrible contract. Hindsight being 20. Oh my God. We might go back in 10 years and say that was the worst contract
of all time.
Because before he played with the Broncos, remember, he was still on his Seattle contract. They gave him an extension.
Yes.
They gave him
an extension. They didn't have to do it.
They didn't even have to do it. That's a good point. Bipolar. Russell Wilson's a good one.
Is it 1A for Kyler Murray? The PlayStation Pro?
Not sure yet. Maybe. But the thing about baseball,
this is hilarious.
I think Aaron Judge is going to be the same way. By the time that he's done with his contract, he's going to be 39 years old. Albert Pujols was the same way. Albert Pujols was getting paid up until his 40-year-old season. I understand you want to lock him down. I know you want to lock him down. They ended up having to trade him for a vending machine. I just don't understand why they do these long contracts. The guys deserve to be paid. Aaron Judge is one of the most talented human beings on this earth. But 10 years?
What about Shohei Ohtani? He gives you a two-way player. Does he deserve it?
But the thing is, now he's more prone to get hurt.
Oh, gosh.
And you're going to give him and again, Albert Pujols was great. Albert Pujols at 37 years old, not so great.
Yeah.
But you're already locked in. You already paid him. I don't know, but I also think there's always one exception to the rule, Strick, and the guy that you pay no matter what. You know who that is? It's in baseball. There's one exception to the contract rule. Who I say is the best baseball player to ever step on a baseball field.
Oh, what's his name? Out of the Angels.
Mike Trout.
Trout. Yeah.
Still,
I said it.
Still, despite all these contracts, still the highest paid player in baseball.
No matter what. Nowhere where everybody else
was
is
420 mil, 430. I don't remember what it is.
And
he's the exception to the rule.
They need to move him to a better team.
He does. The Yankees will end up with him somehow. Rico will be happy. Aaron Judge, Mike Trout, the same outfield. Who knows? All right, we got to take a quick break. That was fun. Keep the texts coming. We're going to break down some Husker basketball. They fall to Indiana last night. The Husker Hall of Famer is going to talk us through it. Stay with us on the block. 93.7 The Ticket.
Hey guys, this is Lindsay Teal from Nebraska Golf Team. Imagine golfing the best courses in the world. St. Andrews, Pebble Beach, Southern Hill, City of Lincoln. Double Eagle has the city's best golf simulators, 5 high-quality bays that track ball speed, launch angle, club speed, spin rate, and more to give you the most accurate gameplay. Check it out for yourself year-round. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Harrison Arns. Here is your state football championship recap. In Class C1, number 2 Pierce dominated the number 1 Aurora 42-14. In Class B, the number 1 Bennington Badgers took down number 2 Gross Catholic 38-14. And in Class 8, number 1 Omaha Westside just held on to win over Gretna. Zane Flores would throw for 414 yards with 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Anthony Rizak for Omaha Westside was able to play a cleaner game, completing 27 of 36 passes, 2 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. This has been your Southeast Community College High School Minute. Learn more today at southeast.edu with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest, quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Decking the halls with boughs of holly sure sounds great until you're the one who take the best out of your holiday parties this year and host your gatherings at Suite A Events by Mary Ellen's. Suite A is the perfect place for your year-end company parties or other large gatherings. Suite A and Mary Ellen's can handle the food, the desserts, the decorations, and of course, those holiday spirits. See for yourself online at suiteaevents.com or at 27th and Pine Lake, right next to Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul.
Are you looking for a solid, stable career in assembly, CNC machining, or injection molding? We got you covered. Hi, Bob Williams, HR Director for Garner Industries, a world-class manufacturer with a 70-year history right here in Lincoln. And I just listed some great career opportunities that you can find by logging into GarnerIndustries.com. If you want top pay, excellent benefits, flexible work hours, and the opportunity to work in a clean, modern, air-conditioned facility with great people, contact me today by applying online at GarnerIndustries.com.
Tractor Supply is looking for full-time team members for their Waverly Distribution Center. Tractor Supply has a new progressive pay model where team members receive 5 wage increases in the first 2 years of employment with the ability to earn up to $24 per hour. Applicants can expect a 3- and 4-day work week schedule with additional overtime days with both day and night shift schedules available. At Tractor Supply, they work hard, have fun, and make money. Apply today at tractorsupply.jobs.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
It's tailgate season. Why would you bounce around from place to place for all your beverage needs when you could have it all in one place? Wine, Beer, and Spirits has everything for your parties with their 3 locations in Lincoln, Grand Island, and Omaha. It's the largest liquor store in the state, and here's the best part. You can get a drink from their bar and walk around with it as you shop for all your tailgate necessities. Locally owned and operated, it's Wine, Beer, and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln. 2022 flew by fast, and while you celebrate the upcoming holidays, Mullen Motors is looking ahead to 2023 and trying to open up space on their lot. Stop by Mullen Motors for their year-end sale and select from some of the best options of used vehicles in Lincoln at the best prices of the year. Don't end the year in your aging vehicle. Search Mullen Motors lot today for their year-end sale, just north of 48th and Lake.
No tagline, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Benjamin Franklin said, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. I agree. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. I grew up in Nebraska, attended our local public schools, and became a teacher. It wasn't easy, but it's the best investment I've ever made. Teachers are encouraging every student to invest their time in learning. Please join us in that effort. Support public education.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association in this station.
This is Dan Friedman. Between 2010 and 2019, distracted driving caused more than 40,000 car crashes in Nebraska, resulting in over 14,000 severe injuries and deaths. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you have a smartphone, put it away while you're behind the wheel. It will help keep our community safe and secure. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at freedmanlaw.com today.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Nate on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back on the block 93.7 The Ticket. My name's Nate Brennan. He's the Husker Hall of Famer, 9-year NBA vet. 402-464-5685. Starter Heyman text line. Honda of Lincoln hotline. As always, we want to hear from you. As always, you can also check us out on the Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Give us a like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. As always, we're brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for This. So, did you go yesterday?
I sure did.
How was it?
I had yesterday, the ribs were falling off the bone. And I had great macaroni, and they had the yams were just coated.
The yams are big time.
Oh, my gosh, bro.
Well, on that note, 27th and Pine Lake. If you're going home early, if you're looking for an early lunch, maybe or excuse me, a late lunch, early dinner, Mary Ellen's is the place to be. 27th and Pine Lake. I promise you, they will not disappoint. Breaking for Husker football, strict before we get to Husker hoops from last night. Nebraska is hiring Syracuse defensive coordinator Tony White as the school's next defensive coordinator. He runs a 3-3-5 defense, and he has emerged as one of the top ACC coordinators. So Nebraska goes for a big name. So however you feel about the rest of the staff, I can safely say as an ACC guy, Syracuse took their team, credit to Dino Babers, and took their defense to the next level this year. Syracuse was ranked. This is the first bowl game Syracuse is going to go to in a number of years. Tony White's a big reason for that. And now running a 3-5-5 too. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I definitely want to get Jay's perspective on that too,
yeah.
It'll look a little different.
Especially in a heavily run style of a conference.
Right.
Yes, they can spread you out, but you're gonna have to get some beef. You're gonna have to get some Omaha steaks.
Yes, you do.
You're gonna have to have some big steers in the middle to do a 3-3-5.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna have to be fast, and you're gonna have to be strong, and you're gonna have to, you're gonna have to be fast and strong. But the thing is, does that work in the Big Ten? We'll see.
We will see. And a little bit of a background right before we get to the Honda of Lincoln Hotline. Chase asked if he has any Big Ten experience, so I'll go through his coaching tree real quick. He started as a graduate assistant at UCLA in 2007, went to New Mexico in 2008 as a linebackers coach, San Diego State as a quarterbacks coach from 2009 to 2010. He would get promoted to the quarterbacks coach and recruiting coordinator at San Diego State. That's definitely good here. 2011 to 2017 brings in a little bit of a recruiting background. Arizona State from 2018 to 2019 as cornerbacks coach and defense passing game coordinator. Would be promoted to Arizona State to defensive coordinator and secondary coach. He would move on to Syracuse as the defensive coordinator from 2020 to 2022, and now he currently resides as Nebraska's defensive coordinator. So there's a little bit of the background.
Well, before we get to the call, we do have a call. Frank, wait, hold on. We're coming to you. I just want to throw this out on the Starter Heyman text line, 402-464-5685. If you're Nebraska, do you leave West Coast like athletes alone? Because to me, it seems like soft as cotton now. Anytime we've brought California, anything from that west side over here, they don't have stick and stay power, and it seems to me that they're soft as cotton now.
Yeah,
it just seems like the conference itself is that, now.
Oh, the Pac-12,
other than Utah, who goes out there and get them Samoans and them big
and Utah
burly.
Well, that's also coaching. A lot of that is coaching. I think that Utah has built a brand that no matter what, like even if you're recruiting a guy from California, you're going to play physical and you're going to play in the trenches. That's how we play football. If you don't like it, you're not going to come here.
Yeah.
So I think they've built their brand long enough.
I want to throw that out to the text line. Go ahead.
And Texter asked, Bob Diaco's defense was a 3-3-5. I'm actually not sure. I can look that up and ask Jay too, because I'm very curious, because when we talk about schemes and things like that, especially from the defensive side of the ball, Jay is 100% my resource.
Oh, yeah,
every single time, because he can break all of that down for us. We'll definitely hear from him during Old School, and we'll ask him some things too. We'll head to the Honda of Lincoln Hotline where we got Frank. Frank, what's on your mind today?
Oh, just want you guys' first impression of Tony White. And do you think he is is he a recruiter who could bring the kind of defensive linemen we need? And do you really think a 3-3-5 is going to work in the Big Ten? Thanks for the call, man. Thanks a lot.
Yep.
Well, I think I partly touched on that, Nate, just a little bit. To me, I really don't know. I think it could maybe in the East. But again, it's about to change. I think when you're dealing with the Marylands, I think when you're dealing with Ohio States, I think when you're dealing, let's see, who else?
Well, the thing,
not definitely not Illinois, not Iowa, not Michigan, Northwestern probably. Maybe if you're doing with Indiana, Purdue, you're dealing with those types of teams. Yeah, but
the only issue I have with that, Strick, and not even really an issue, I'm worried that the Big Ten, if they continue this trajectory of adding teams, build a super conference, it's going to be pods. And more than likely, I'm assuming that Nebraska's pod would probably be Iowa, maybe a Minnesota, and then USC, UCLA, just because of proximity. I don't know if maybe you throw a Washington and Oregon in there if they possibly make the move to the Big Ten. But I think what's so fascinating about if there is a pod system, Nebraska's kind of an outlier, because if that's what you're getting Iowa and Minnesota. That's the complete opposite of USC and UCLA. Style. So you're kind of screwed regardless. And again, that's all speculation. I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but that's where it looks like it's headed, is that some type of pod system. So I don't really know what you recruit for, to be honest with you. And when it comes to a 3-3-5, I guess it would depend on which teams you play, like you said, Strick, because I don't know if I necessarily like a 3-3-5 against like an Iowa or Minnesota, or Wisconsin.
It doesn't seem that's going to change either. Like, it doesn't seem that the style in the Big Ten is going to shift or change, especially with the success now that Michigan is having, right? Michigan now is 2-0. I mean, everybody's calling for Ryan Day's head. That's how things go. And that goes back to the question that we talk about, the success that you can have, no matter how much success you have, it's not
ridiculous.
It's crazy.
Because basically what's come down to for Ryan Day is that
Janet Jackson.
he's lost to Michigan twice.
It comes down to Janet Jackson. And what do I mean by that, Nate? What have you done for me lately? It's a Janet Jackson mentality around here. It's crazy.
Because for what it's worth, too, Ohio State made the playoff, for crying out
right.
loud. And it's in Nick Saban. I know Alabama fans are after him, but Alabama fans, we all know, are ridiculous, right, wrong, or indifferent, because coming after Nick Saban is just ridiculous. Byron brings up Wisconsin just hired air raid offensive coordinator. And that's the thing. But unfortunately, it's just such an interesting concept, because now I'm thinking about it from the offensive side of the ball. You tried Mark Whipple, which was I wouldn't say he's necessarily an air raid, but he's more of a pass-first coordinator, and we saw that worked out at Nebraska. Now, did you have the athletes on the field and the type of personnel to do that? No, probably not. But at the end of the day, I think if you're going to have success at Nebraska, and Matt Rule touched on this and Trev Alberts has done the same, you're going to have to get in the trenches. You're going to have a good offensive line. You're going to have to be able to run the football, simply put. And unfortunately, Nebraska's not in the same position as a Michigan or Ohio State, where you can basically do whatever you want because you have the best athletes on the field. That's not really the case. So I don't really know too much. I know that, for what it's worth, Syracuse had a very good defense this year.
I mean, that works in that conference.
One of the best in the ACC.
That's what I'm saying. The 3-5-5 works there, because you got NC State, you got North Carolina. A lot of those teams,
Clemson too.
Clemson, they spread and throw.
Wake Forest.
You know
I'm trying to think about that Atlantic Division, and a lot of them are kind of the spread it out.
Yeah.
It's replicated on speed. I don't know.
And you had Pittsburgh.
Right. Well, Pittsburgh is in the coastal, but still, Pittsburgh definitely falls into that category. I don't know. I will say this, from what I've seen from Matt Rule, and a lot of it, I'll be honest, has been on social media. The guys out there, he's working, and if he's bringing someone on his staff, they're going to be a worker too. And I know that's not always what we want to hear. We want to get into more of the scheme. Like you said, Strick, what have you done for me lately? Well, what he's done lately is Syracuse is one of the better defenses in the ACC.
And I'm not mad at it.
And it's a school that usually doesn't perform very well.
And I like it.
Go to a bowl game. Was ranked at some point this season.
And they get after you.
And it looks like Matt Rule, and they get after you. And it looks like Matt Rule is a hard worker, already out recruiting, and he's going to have a staff behind him that's going to do more of the same.
Yeah,
so from what we know so far, I think it's a good start.
Yeah. What do you guys think about that? The potential of Devin Leary going over to Illinois?
That's not good for Nebraska.
That is not good.
Devin Leary's
because he's a stud.
Devin Leary's a stud.
He can sling it.
If that's going to be the case, and you have to look too, Strick, McNamara, your boy, is going to Iowa.
Yeah.
So if he's going to Iowa and Devin Leary's going to Illinois, I don't know what's going on in the Big Ten, but they're starting to invest in quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Especially the Big Ten West, which is something we haven't seen in the past. Iowa almost never goes to the transfer portal.
Yeah.
Illinois had Tommy DeVito, for what it's worth, last year, who was not Devin Leary. I think that makes it even more of a priority for Casey Thompson.
And that's the
even
thing.
More so.
But even more than that, we just don't know if he's going to get surgery. Because if he gets surgery, that keeps him out for spring ball. You know just how important it is to be able to connect. You still got to know what you're. Yes, right. You're gonna have to find a connection with another receiver. We know that he has that with Washington. We know that's a solid. Right. But is Washington really a breakthrough number one type of receiver for the Huskers? We'll see. I think he's got to get stronger. I think he has trouble getting separation sometimes.
And you're losing Vokalek too. He's lost his eligibility, so he's going to be moving on too. It'll be interesting, and that makes you think too, especially if you're bringing in talent from the outside in the transfer portal. You don't get Trey Palmer's growing on trees.
No.
That's not normally how it works. Now, you hit lightning in a bottle with Trey Palmer. He's one of the better receivers in recent memory at Nebraska, but you can't count on that happening again.
Yeah.
And if you do, you're foolish.
And then you hit a couple times on great receivers, but yeah, like you said, that's something that just doesn't just drop into your lap.
No. And it's not going to. And honestly, for what it's
worth,
they're getting
a late start.
Right. And for what it's worth too, Casey Thompson's don't grow on trees either. I'll be the first to tell you, as someone that's a Virginia Tech fan that went to the transfer portal to get Grant Wells, yeah, that didn't work out at all. So, and you can look at all these quarterbacks across the country that are transferring because their situation didn't work out too. So,
do you go get DJ on
I honestly think right now, Strick, I'll be entirely honest with you, and this isn't me being a homer. This isn't me saying this because we're in Lincoln. I think Casey Thompson needs to be first priority.
I agree.
Because not only is he a solid quarterback, you know what you're getting. I think out of all of this, from what we've seen from the transfer portal, and now the coaching staff is going to change, the roster is going to turn over, you have to have someone in the room that you can trust.
Some stability, yeah.
Someone that you can trust. Now, is Casey Thompson at the level of maybe a DJ Uiagalelei or a Devin Leary? I don't know. We haven't really seen him play in systems like that.
I'd like to see him play with a line.
I agree.
You give that man a line and give him some time. Give him a line and give him some time.
But you know what we do know about Casey Thompson? He's a good leader, and he is great in front of the podium. And I think at a school, especially absolutely at a school like Nebraska, where you have the weight of the world on your shoulders, you have to be able to address the media, and you have to be articulate, and you have to be able to be a leader on and off the field. And I think that's important, especially at a school like Nebraska. And that's, I think, a lot of too what gave Adrian Martinez sometimes the benefit of the doubt is that he was great in front of the podium, and he cared about the university. So I'm
ready to fight.
I think Casey Thompson is your first priority. I would have said that Ernest Hausman might be a 1B. Unfortunately, that didn't work out for you. So
can I get a tag today?
You move on. You want a tag? You don't want a tag.
I think I want a tag today because I'm tired of taking L's. I need a W.
You should be tired of taking L's. If you want to give Strick another L, give us a call, 402-464-5685, Honda Lincoln Hotline. Still haven't gotten to basketball yet, too. We'll do that to start out the 3 o'clock hour, and then we'll talk some college football playoff. We'll do all that good stuff. We'll bring in DP. DP will be in here, too, with Thirsty Thursday.
We got
we got a whole packed show for you. So if you're just now joining us, stay with us. Packed show on the block, 93.7 The Ticket. Shootout with Strick is next.
You spend a lot of time on your feet. At work, at the gym, on the golf course, it can be sting. Are your feet as comfortable as they could be? Brown Shoe Fit delivers all the sizes and widths that you can imagine and that most other stores can't compete with. If you're looking for a specific brand, they have it. New Balance, Brooks, Keen, Clarks, Echo, Rockport, Merrill, many more. All sizes, all widths. Stop trying to squeeze into your shoes and sacrificing comfort. Find your next pair of shoes for any endeavor at Brown's Shoe Fit, just south of 66 and Q in Lincoln.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
I'm Steve Carper, and I'm here to tell you that there's never been a better time to buy flooring. Whether you need carpet, wood flooring, ceramic tile, vinyl, area rugs, or custom blinds, you got to come to O Street Carpet. With our 12-month interest-free financing, you can do one room or your whole house and leave your holiday budget intact. And with our huge in-stock selection, you can buy today and we'll install it right away. 1732 O Street. We want to make you a customer for life.
Tractor Supply is looking for full-time team members for their Waverly Distribution Center. Tractor Supply has a new progressive pay model where team members receive 5 wage increases in the first 2 years of employment with the ability to earn up to $24 per hour. Applicants can expect a 3- and 4-day work week schedule with additional overtime days with both day and night shift schedules available. At Tractor Supply, they work hard, have fun, and make money. Apply today at tractorsupply.jobs.
Life-changing research doesn't just take place in outer space. It's also happening right here in Nebraska, and you could play a key role. Solarion, one of the world's leading clinical research organizations, needs healthy adults who are 19 years old and older for a research opportunity. If you qualify, you could earn up to $500 a day for time and travel. Overnight stays may be required. To learn more, call Solarion at 866-213-2965 or visit helpresearch.com/500.
You had to know that when Wingstop set out to make a crispy, juicy chicken sandwich, they wouldn't make it in just one flavor. They'd make it in all 12, like lemon pepper, mango habanero, hickory smoked barbecue, and OG hot. So why have one new favorite chicken sandwich when you can have 12? Try the new sauced and tossed Wingstop chicken sandwich today for only $5.49 at Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Valid for a limited time and available at participating Wingstop locations only while supplies last. Price subject to applicable taxes and fees.
People first is more than a nice sentiment. At American Senior Benefits, it's the mission. If you're ready for a career where you can truly put your customers' needs ahead of everything else, this is for you. American Senior Benefits is one of the leading senior market insurance product distributors in the country, and they're looking for high-energy applicants with strong communication skills. Enjoy on-the-job training, a fun work environment, and unlimited income potential. Visit asbmidwest.com to learn more. American Senior Benefits.
Sartor Heyman Jewelers says, let it snow, because a white New Year's Eve could mean free jewelry. Shop from December 1st to December 24th, and if it snows 3 inches or more on New Year's Eve, your purchase is free. Holiday savings throughout the store. 36 months interest-free financing with approved credit. Shop from December 1st to December 24th, and if it snows 3 inches or more on New Year's Eve, your purchase is free. Sartor Heyman Jewelers, a Nebraska tradition since 1905.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Expect increasing cloud cover. A winter weather advisory will be in effect later today, as by late this morning into the early afternoon hours, a wintry mix of light freezing drizzle could move in, creating difficult travel conditions. We do eventually reach a high of around 34. Overnight, mostly cloudy with a low of 27, a high tomorrow of around 41. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685, to take your shot against Eric Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game!
A very good point made by Wet Blankets on the text line. Said, how do you not mention toughness as the first attribute when you talk about Casey Thompson? That is very correct. That is at the very top.
What was that
of
again?
the list. He said, how do you not mention toughness as the first attribute when you talk about Casey Thompson?
Oh, yeah.
That's definitely at the top of the list. Thank you, Wet Blankets, because I completely agree with that dude. It just goes to show you that someone that cares enough about Nebraska, how long that goes to fans. I mean, just for him to play under some of the circumstances that he did. I mean, there were some games that he just got beat up and he just kept getting up and wanted to play for the University of Nebraska. And that goes a long way with fans, and that goes a long way with us too. I mean, we see that and we appreciate that. So shout out to Casey Thompson. Like I said, I think he should be at the top of the priority list for Matt Rule and the staff. Well, time to play Shootout with Strick. Strick back on his losing ways, probably to no one's surprise. And to take him down again, we're going to go to the Honda of Lincoln hotline where we got Jim. Jim, what's going on?
Not too much. I'm 1-0 against Strick. I'm looking to extend my streak to 2-0.
Oh, that's what we like to hear. Well, luckily for you, Jim, you've caught Strick at a pretty bad time, a pretty sour time for Strick because he can't buy a win right now. So, Jim, you know how this goes. Since you're 1-0, stay on the line. We got to make sure that Strick gets his answers in first. See how many points you have to get in order to win the chicken. So, again, Jim, stay on the line. Strick, today we're talking about bowl games. It'll be a fun season. How do you feel?
Oh,
you got that look in your eye. I don't know if you're feeling great.
I'm not feeling great.
I'm feeling great.
See, there's
a lot of bowl games, and I got some weird ones.
So many freaking bowl games, bro.
And I got some really weird ones for you, so we'll go ahead and see how you do. Are you ready, Strick?
All right, man.
All right, we will start in 3, 2, and 1. This MAC school kicks off against UAB in the Bahamas Bowl. Miami of Ohio or Ball State?
Ball State.
Nope, it's Miami of Ohio. Oregon State plays this SEC school in the Las Vegas Bowl. Missouri or Florida?
Missouri.
Nope, it's Florida. Utah State will play this American school in the First Responder Bowl. Houston or Memphis?
Houston.
Nope, it's Memphis. This Pac-12 school plays Texas in the Alamo Bowl. Washington or Oregon?
Oh, Washington.
That's correct. This SEC school plays Clemson in the Orange Bowl.
6, 5, 4, 3,
Alabama.
1.
Strick, I don't know what's been into you because that is just another abysmal performance. It's Tennessee. The two oranges.
Bro. It's a jinx. I need somebody in here. Rico.
What?
I need Rico or somebody in here reading
Rico's
questions.
going to have to start getting in here because that was just, my goodness gracious, Strick. Well, for what it's worth, you did get 1 point. So you left the door open to possibly, maybe,
but I get
probably
Googled.
Still not
See,
win.
I think we need to switch it around because I'm telling you, I get Googled to death.
No. That, I mean,
I get Googled to death.
Even if you get Googled, Strick, you got to get more than 1 point. Jay Foreman said it correct. Damn, Strick.
That's
Damn.
So I haven't looked at the bowl games. It's not time yet. Why would I right now be looking at what's going to happen next week?
Strick, it's the Orange Bowl.
Bro.
You got to know who plays in the Orange Bowl.
I don't even know.
All right. Well, Strick, to save some of your embarrassment, we're going to go back to the Honda of Lincoln hotline. Jim, he's made it pretty easy for you today. You got to get 1 to tie, 2 to win. How you feeling?
Well, I got to tell you, Strick, I haven't not even looked at it. I've been sent several bowl prediction things. I haven't looked at it yet, so you might have a chance.
Man, I'm worse than Sipple right now.
You are worse.
Shut up, Strickle.
So, hey, I like that. Strickle with the stricken. All right, Jim, are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, we will start in 3, 2, and 1. This ACC school faces off against Cincinnati in the Wasabi Fenway Bowl. Wake Forest or Louisville?
Wake Forest.
Nope, it's Louisville. UConn plays the Sun Belt team in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. Georgia Southern or Marshall?
Georgia Southern.
It's Marshall. Liberty will play this MAC school. Akron or Toledo?
Toledo.
That is correct. This ACC school plays Maryland in the Duke's Mayo Bowl. NC State or North Carolina?
10, 9, 8.
NC State.
That is correct. Utah plays this Big Ten school in the Rose Bowl.
3, 2, 1.
Oh my God, this is a bull junkie.
Do you know it, Jim?
I got too excited after making my second answer.
That's some bull junkie.
Well, here, I'll go ahead and repeat it for you, Jim, just so you can put salt into the wound. Utah plays this Big Ten school in the Rose Bowl. For what it's worth, Strick doesn't know it either. What is it?
Penn State.
That is Penn State. That is correct. We will pour even more salt into the wound. Jim, you have rightfully earned these.
Boom shakalaka. Finish him. Give me a hell yeah. I said give me a hell yeah.
All right, Jim, it is your time to shine. You can either take the high road or you can talk trash to Strick.
There's no high road, Strick. I am 2-0 against you. I'm out looking for an NIL deal.
Yes!
Boom shakalaka.
I love it, Jim. That was awesome. You should be looking for an NIL deal because that was embarrassing by Strick. Jim, we appreciate you. Congrats on your win. Go ahead and stay on the line. Rico will make sure that you get your stricken for the day. So that's it. $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings goes to Jim. Strick, do you want to get embarrassed a little bit more?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Your tiebreaker question. Georgia currently has the longest active bowl streak of how many straight seasons? To redeem yourself, Strick. Come on, to redeem yourself.
7. Bowl streaks?
I'm gonna.
Are you talking about just a bowl?
Being
wait,
just a bowl.
Oh, just any bowl.
Any bowl.
Oh, I'm thinking like the top bowl.
I'll tell you right now, it's not 7.
22.
Closer, much better. 26.
Okay.
So you got it wrong, but much better. All right, we got to go to break. Strick, you need to.
You
need to take a walk around the building.
Questions.
Or something.
You don't give
It is not the questions. You need to go take a walk, drink some water, do something. I don't even know. It's time for Thirsty Thursday at this point. Screw it. Who cares? We got another hour on the block. Stay with us.
It's tailgate season. Why would you bounce around from place to place for all your beverage needs when you could have it all in one place? Wine, Beer, and Spirits has everything for your parties with their 3 locations in Lincoln, Grand Island, and Omaha. It's the largest liquor store. And here's the best part. You can get it from and walk around with it as you shop for all your tailgate necessities. Locally owned and operated, it's Wine, Beer, and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go.
Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Book your appointment today at NebraskaAutoDetail.com.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood of hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Yesterday, your water heater worked just fine. Today, surprise! When you're out of hot water, just call the plumbers at Bryant. In most cases, you can get same-day water heater replacement. What you won't get is a costly surprise with the bill. At Bryant, the price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. No last-minute extras for piping or ventilation alterations. Need a new water heater? Just call Bryant, 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
People first is more than a nice sentiment. At American Senior Benefits, it's the mission. If you're ready for a career where you can truly put your customers' needs ahead of everything else, this is for you. American Senior Benefits is one of the leading senior market insurance product distributors in the country, and they're looking for high-energy applicants with strong communication skills. Enjoy on-the-job training, a fun work environment, and unlimited income potential. Visit ASBMidwest.com to learn more. American Senior Benefits.
If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, listen up. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
You had to know that when Wingstop set out to make a crispy, juicy chicken sandwich, they wouldn't make it in just one flavor. They'd make it in all 12, like lemon pepper, mango habanero, hickory smoked barbecue, and OG hot. So why have one new favorite chicken sandwich when you can have 12? Try the new sauced and tossed Wingstop chicken sandwich today for only $5.49 at Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Valid for a limited time and available at participating Wingstop locations only while supplies last. Price subject to applicable taxes and fees.
The Empire brand is growing with ESC fabrication and sandblasting. ESC is your place for custom handrails, industrial and commercial painting, and more. ESC provides custom welding for aluminum and stainless steel and media blasting of all sorts. ESC is great attention to detail. They stick to deadlines and keep within your budget. If you can dream it, they can make it. Contact ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting in Waverly today at 531-207-9329.
Benjamin Franklin said, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. I agree. I'm Judy Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. I grew up in Nebraska, attended our local public schools, and became a teacher. It wasn't easy, but it's the best investment I've ever made. Teachers are encouraging every student to invest their time in learning. Please join us in that effort. Support public education.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association in this station.
This is On the Block with Strick and Nate. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
And Hokie Homer turned Husker, Nathan Brennan.
Everyone knows that I'm the smartest person here.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Nate.
Guess who just got back?
A very happy Thirsty Thursday to all of you. My name's Nate Brennan. He's the Husker Hall of Famer, the 9-year NBA vet, the Eric Strickland. You're listening to On the Block 93.7 The Ticket. 402-464-5685. Starter Heyman text line, Honda Lincoln hotline. As always, we want to hear from you. You can also check us out on the Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. Give us a like, subscribe, share on all of those platforms. Interact with us as well. We greatly appreciate each and every one of you that has already subscribed and shared. Strick, we are brought to you by
Mary Ellen's Food for the
Soul. I had to go an octave higher. I think that's what they call it. I'm not really much of a musical genius over here. But yeah, Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Got great soul food, 27th and Pine Lake, the place to be. If you're getting off work, go ahead and head over that way. Treat yourself. It's Thirsty Thursday. Treat yourself. Head over, check out Charles and his crew. Tell them that we sent you, too, On the Block. Tell them the On the Block crew sent you. Strick, before I have you break all this down, I'm going to go through some of the numbers for anyone who maybe didn't catch up with the game last night. So Nebraska will fall to 6-4, 0-1 in the Big Ten after their loss against the Indiana Hoosiers at Assembly Hall in Bloomington, Indiana. Final score in this one, 81-65. Interestingly enough, a late second scratch. No Sam Griesel. Keisei Tamanaga will start in his place. Play 26 minutes, drop 11 points. Pretty efficient shooting, went 5 for 11. Interesting note, all but 4 points were scored by the starters, and the only other points were scored by Sam Griesel with 2 free throws and Blaze Keita on 1 shot, both of those coming in garbage time. CJ Wilcher's your high-scoring man. He drops a season-high 22 points. Derek Walker, 11 points on the game, 5 rebounds, still pretty efficient, didn't take too many shots, 5 for 7. His efficiency keeps up. Juwan Gary just can't get anything going from the field. He goes 1 for 6, 0 of 2 from the three-point line. Nebraska is also, unfortunately, the rebounds did not work in Nebraska's favor for this one.
Yeah.
Out-rebounded 28-21, something that was definitely helpful in the Creighton game and especially some of those games over during their ESPN ESPN Invitational, especially Florida State, who's a bigger team, was always nice to see. So, Strick, break it down for me. A tough game for Nebraska. They're playing without Sam Griesel. Safe to assume that they were going to take a dip. They end up losing this one by 16. I kind of consider this game a wash. You're coming after an emotional win. You're in Assembly Hall. You're playing one of the best players in the country. You don't have one of your top 3 scorers. There was just kind of everything spiraled for Nebraska and fell apart at the last second. So this game is kind of a wash for me. Break it down for me. What do you got?
So it comes down to this. It's more nuance as well than just the typical aspects of missing a player. One of the hardest things to do is to go into a road game with a hostile environment after you have prepared and worked on a certain style that you're going to play. There's probably sets that you have been working on. There's different things about the game that
lineups
you have prepared.
Yeah.
Mentally, you've prepared. For example, Keisei Tamanaga has been playing and understanding what his role is going to be coming in. The whole time he's prepared, he's been working with the second team because he's knowing that he's going to be coming off the bench. And you get thrown a wrench in the middle of like short term. Like this isn't like you had a couple days to prepare.
Last second scratch.
Last second scratch, right? That's a tough thing to do. So you're not only losing one of your strong rebounder, you're losing a potential mismatch situation. I don't know if it would have changed anything because listen, Indiana's very physical. If you could have watched that game or you didn't watch that game, you would see their style. Obviously, Mike Woodson. I've played against Mike Woodson teams in the NBA, just always going to be hard-nosed guys. They're just hard-nosed. That's the way he played. And when you're talking about the way they ran guys off of picks, meaning that they got into their bodies and the refs let them be very physical. And so you have to be able to match that. I don't think they did that. And so you're dealing with a few of those situations and you come out and you miss 9 of your first 10 shots. No bueno. No. Listen, it happens. I thought that they did a good job of not allowing it to be an absolute blowout, but Indiana jumped out to a 14-2 lead, and they did it with guys that for them too were unexpected, having unexpected career nights. Right. So you have that. And then here's something that I think changed the momentum of everything. They're down 11 points with about 45 or 49 seconds left in the half. They have possession. They got a turnover. I think it might have been either from a charge or some form of a turnover. They have the ball, and they're going down to score. They turn the ball over. Okay. They come back on the other end. They're able to get another turnover. So you're down still 11, able to cut the lead down under double digits, going into half with some momentum.
Right.
On the road after you've played horribly in the first half. You turn the ball over, they go down on the other end, and they get a dunk. I think it was it was a turnover to a dunk to end the first half. So instead of going down under double digits, you're down 13 now going into the half with Indiana having the ball coming out of it. That's a tough thing. So
puts you in a tough spot.
So listen, they did some good things. I'm not going to even come out here and just act like this was just a total bad game. I said, watch out for Tamanaga or watch out for Wilcher to have a good game after that's kind of been their cycle. One of those guys, if they have a bad game, one of them ends up having a good game the next night. They still played pretty well. Even with Derek Walker getting into not getting into his full bag.
Right.
He still had a very efficient night for him doing what he does. And so now you've got to throw Jamarcus Lawrence into the mix, who hadn't really been playing a lot of minutes. You got to rely now on Denham Dawson, who's not really a scoring threat. So that's your energy coming off. You need to get steals. You need to get turnovers. You need to get in the open court. You need to get in the fast break. But those guys aren't those push probe type of guys. Vandemil's not that type of guy. They don't really have an assist guy, a guy that can break down
outside
the
of Griesel.
Outside of Griesel. And so there's where their problem lied, and that's what ended up happening. The game still seems to be really fast for Breidenbach right now. it's going to take him some time to really just figure this out. But not bad. I mean, listen, another thing you gotta think about, guys, listening in right now. And give me your opinions as well. 402-464-5685. Another thing you got to think about is this Indiana team with the hard-nosed play, top 15 team, takes a drubbing at Rutgers, and then they have to come back after taking that drubbing. A Mike Woodson, hard-nosed team. They probably got
smoked.
They got reamed out. They probably was in film room getting tore up, and then they have to come back and play against that team at home. That happens sometimes.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Tough spot to be in for Nebraska. I'll bring it down here a little bit more in a second. Wanted to give a shout out to Ellie and Braylon listening in right now. Husker Power. I love it, guys. Shout out to them. Thank you, BJ, for texting in. Always, we appreciate all of you guys listening. So shout out to Braylon and Ellie. Husker Power, guys. Let me ask you this, Strick, because this is something that's fascinating to me, because this seemed more of like a Derek Walker last year game, in the sense that he has 11 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, kind of doing it all over the place. Very efficient, 5 for 7. Out of all the starters outside of Juwan Gary, who had a very rough night from the field, he just couldn't get anything going. He took the least amount of shots. I don't know enough about this team. I don't know enough about Derek Walker's game. I don't know how it translates with and without Sam Griesel. So my question to you, I would have liked to see Derek Walker take more shots. I would have liked him to get the ball a little bit more. I know that's not always what he's done. I know especially last year he was kind of like your bruiser down low, get the offensive rebounds, get your easy shots. Damn it, have Derek Walker take 15 shots a game.
Yeah,
he is your best
efficiency.
player on the court. He's efficient. He can possibly get Trace Jackson Davis, some other bigs in foul trouble, which, especially in the Big Ten, getting these guys in foul trouble would be huge. He's the guy that gives you that option. So I just, like, solely looking at this stat sheet, I want you to break it down from an offensive perspective, because I look at this stat sheet, I see 33 minutes, and I see 7 shots from the floor. If it were me, I would have said, give it to Derek, let him go in his bag, as you say, and let him take some shots. Like, even if it's not as highly of an efficient shot as he normally takes, I would have liked to see him take more.
Well, I think they were trying to do that, and the problem with how it was happening is they were trying to run offense different times to him. They made a few bad passes, right, and they ended up being some turnovers, but also Derek got in a few situations where he ended up turning the ball over himself, whether it be trying to dribble into too much, into like, not double teams. They weren't double teams, right, but pinches where somebody was pinching down to try to.
He had 5 turnovers.
He had 5 turnovers.
Right.
So that's what it was. It looked like there were situations where he was trying to do something and he got himself into a little bit of trouble because they were really coming down hard and pinching where you wanted to have kicks.
Great game plan.
It was a great game plan. And that's where I think there was a little bit of hesitancy to go to him in certain situations once that happened, because you don't want him to have a super bad turnover night, where some of it turned out good, some of it turned out bad.
Right. I look at that stat sheet and I would have liked to see him take a few more shots. Is this the concern for this Nebraska team, having one of their starters go out? Because like I said, the only points scored in this game were the starters, outside of Sam Hoiberg and Blaze Keita, who both played in garbage time. So I just look at this too. Those are my biggest takeaways. Was one, Derek Walker, I would have liked to take more shots. He did turn the ball over a lot, which made it a little bit more difficult to get him the rock. If you're without one of your starters, or say Casey, is this bad news for Nebraska? Because the way that I'm seeing it right now, they're about 6 deep. You've got
they're about 6,
maybe 7 if you want to throw in Breidenbach, but right now it looks like you're 6 deep.
Yeah, you're 6 deep. And that's where I think losing Griesel that night really threw off things, because you didn't really have much that you felt that you can go to. He really gets them into the offense. He's been doing a good job of basically getting them settled after some of the lessons that he learned early on. And Derek, it was normally going to be your exit strategy, or your pressure relief valve, as opposed to really your mainstay leading you in your assist category, right? That's not really his job. And so you lost out on that. And that happens. They've got a chance to redeem themselves. They're going to get a chance to do the same thing now, come home, bounce back, and hopefully get a big one at home on Saturday.
Yeah, playing it against Purdue at PBA on Saturday. We'll break a lot of it more down tomorrow, Strick. I want to get your thoughts on that. But just initial thoughts, because I hope we don't play this yo-yo seesaw game with Nebraska basketball this year. I mean, I guess it's always nice to get a win, but this Sam Griesel's out. I think you have to take this game with a grain of salt, but how does this make you feel going to the Big Ten? Because this is the first Big Ten matchup for Nebraska. They were outplayed on both sides of the ball. You don't have Sam Griesel. Just thoughts moving forward into the Big Ten, because it's about to start heating up here pretty soon.
Well, I think it can be. I'm not saying it is. I think it can be very similar to what they use their early non-con schedule to be, which is to make them learn, to raise their learning curve, get a good feel on the types of competition that they're going to be facing, and to face this early on in the season. This type of schedule in the Big Ten is I think can bode well for them. They're going to have a couple more non-conference games that can be tough for them. Definitely the Kansas State game that's going to be coming up. That's going to be one that's going to help them as well. But I think if they stay with the same formula, and the formula is, as Bandamil said, we heard, take care of home. If you take care of home, you do what you have to do, you compete, you win the ones that you're supposed to win, and maybe clip a few that you don't, then you're okay. That they're going to learn these lessons from that, and how tough the schedule was up front.
This is what Thunder says, and I kind of agree with his take here. He says, I feel fine just because of the simple fact that at no point in time when I was watching us last night did it feel like we were completely out of the game as it has in previous years. Felt like we were always hanging on and there was a chance, whereas before there was no way. And I think that's just kind of the makeup of this team, and I think that's kind of what Fred Hoiberg is going for too, is that we're not going to quit. We're going to keep pushing, and even if everything goes wrong, you're going to play hard. And there is no quit. I think that for what it's worth, you can appreciate that.
You can definitely appreciate it.
And
the crazy thing about that is, as Thunder had said, they had a chance on multiple occasions to get back into it. I mean, they cut it down. They got just under double digits, and then it would be a turnover, or it would be something that would happen, or they just didn't finish at the rim, or it was just little things that could have changed the whole trajectory of that game, but it just didn't happen.
Right. And there's going to be games, especially in the Big Ten. That's how it goes. If you're playing on the road in the Big Ten, look, it's a tough conference. That's going to be the case. Want to make sure to get this breaking news to you guys, because a couple of you guys mentioned this on the text line. We broke it down a bit earlier in the first hour. Tony White, defensive coordinator for Syracuse, officially taking over as Nebraska's defensive coordinator under head coach Matt Rule. Our first thoughts are 3-3-5 defense. Syracuse, one of the better defenses in the ACC this past year. Syracuse, too. We also had a texter make up a good point. I think we're going to figure out. Now, I don't know how it works. I don't think he can coach for their upcoming bowl game against Minnesota, but we're still going to see the same personnel. I would assume the same scheme. So I think a game against an actual Big Ten opponent that has had your number for a few years now should be a little bit telling, because Syracuse is going to play against Minnesota in a bowl game.
Yeah.
So that, I mean,
you're going to have an idea of what it's going to look like.
It's going to give you an idea, and I don't think he is going to be eligible to coach. I'm not entirely sure how that's going to shape out, and I don't know what kind of contract he's had with Nebraska. I don't know if he had a stipulation that he can still coach the bowl game. I'm not entirely sure about all of that yet, but we're going to know, and we're going to know what it's going to look like against a Big Ten opponent, and we're going to have Jay break that down too, because the schematics in the scheme behind it too, I want to know a little bit more. A 3-3-5, just hearing that concerns me a little bit, Strick. I'm not going to lie. I'm assuming that that's probably designed to get a few more athletes on the field, which is faster, stronger, more athletic guys in the field. So we'll have to see. But Tony White, officially Nebraska's defensive coordinator. We'll be giving you guys some more coverage on that throughout this show, and also Old School. DP will jump in here, Jay Foreman. They can break some of that down for us as well. We got to take a quick break. But we're going to have Andrew Alex 24/7 sports breakdown, some bowl games across college football. Nebraska might not be playing, but that doesn't mean there are not a lot of great bowl games to look forward to. We're going to have him break them down. See if he agrees with the Heisman finalists. See if he agrees with the playoff selection. Stay with us on The Block.
Don't even think about it, say no go. Yeah.
Tractor Supply is looking for full-time team members for their Waverly Distribution Center. Tractor Supply has a new progressive pay model where team members receive 5 wage increases in the first 2 years of employment with the ability to earn up to $24 per hour. Applicants can expect a 3- and 4-day work week schedule with additional overtime days with both day and night shift schedules available. At Tractor Supply, they work hard, have fun, and make money. Apply today at tractorsupply.jobs.
If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, listen up. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. In today's age, people are trying to do more and more projects by themselves. That might be better on the wallet, but it can also lead to painful sounds like this. Ow! Poor guy, trying to do wiring all by himself.
2 years. They really took major steps defensively in every category. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to the connection to Matt Rule. And looking at this dude's resume, I'm not quite sure what that connection might be. Right. Arizona State before Syracuse, San Diego State before that. All I can say is that Syracuse is a team that built an identity based on playing hard-nosed defense and running the ball. I'm not sure if running the ball is going to be the bread and butter. I don't know what Matt Rule's offensive philosophy looks like there. But at the end of the day, it seems like Tony White is the guy. Probably not the rock star hire that a lot of people in Lincoln were looking for. But, he's effective. And as I always say with these new coaches and these coordinators, boys, kind of just got to trust the judgment. You're putting tens of millions of dollars in the guy's pocket because your athletic director, your board of directors, your university president believes that Matt Rule is the man whose vision will lead Nebraska back to where they need to be. And right now, this is their guy. So, I give it a hire like a B plus.
Yeah, I think B plus sounds about right. Again, Andrew Alex, 24/7 Sports joining us right now. Andrew, I got to ask you, as a Hendon Hooker fan, that you were probably upset with the Heisman finalists. It will be Max Duggan, C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, and my boy Stetson Bennett. Now, unfortunately, I probably have more of an allegiance towards Hendon Hooker, but all bias aside, how do you think this one shaped out? I know Hendon Hooker today was named, I believe, SEC Player of the Year. So a little bit odd to see Stetson Bennett on this list. What do you think?
I'm right there with you. And I think that Hendon Hooker was the guy that belonged on that final stage in New York. Now, do I think he should have won it? No, but I don't think Stetson Bennett should win it either. So here's what it comes down to. Stetson Bennett is a system guy, if you will. And look, the stats are not unimpressive. Right. You're completing 68% of his passes. You're going 20-6. This is an offense, though, where you're not asked to throw the ball a lot, which is, because you're getting up early in games. They have a hard-nosed run game, a lot of talent all around him. But at the end of the day, like Hendon Hooker, week after week, and, it wasn't him and him alone, but he played a big part of it, was willing Tennessee to victory. I think that you could replace Stetson Bennett with a number of quarterbacks, at that Division I level, and you're probably still going to end up with Georgia, undefeated, maybe one loss. So at the end of the day, I think it is a personal award. And I think that in terms of more dynamic, perhaps more talented, and certainly more valuable to his team in a season that, up until the very end was revolutionary for the Tennessee Volunteers. I think Hendon Hooker deserved to be rewarded for that. Obviously, the voters for the SEC Offensive Player of the Year award did that earlier this week, but I think he should have been on the final stage in New York. So, and this means no offense to Stetson Bennett, but you kind of get what you get, right? I mean, I see him as like a Greg McElroy type, those early 2010s Alabama quarterback. Those weren't high talented, but a lot of people could have looked really good, given those surroundings.
Well, that's what I want to ask you about then, because I've always made this argument, especially when you look at the NFL and the NBA too, is that they call it the most valuable player for a reason. It's the most player that's valuable to their team. Is that how you interpret the Heisman, or are we just talking about the guy that pads the most stats?
It's essentially like the Heisman's like the most dynamic. It's the best college football player. It's the best college football player. And I think relative to your team, you are going to see that. Like, I think Hendon Hooker I think that Stetson Bennett gets credited a lot for the success of his team. I think that, you look like a guy, or you look at a guy like a Michael Penix Jr. who puts up phenomenal statistics. And had he put those statistics up at USC, same competition that you're playing, he's probably on the final Heisman stage too. Yeah. Right? So there's a lot of dynamics that come into play. I mean, obviously, the Heisman voting people are not necessarily, it's literally impossible to be fully educated on the entirety of college football. There's just too much going on. Even professional sports writers don't have that kind of time in their day. So, yeah, I think that some of these writers, for instance, like a guy like David Cunningham, right? I mean, that's just an example of the Heisman voter we know. There's no way he's able to watch all those games. So I think not accusing David Cunningham of this, because we love David Cunningham, Youngblood, DC, and Blacksburg, Virginia. But, you know, they kind of just default to like, oh, yeah, look, the quarterback of Georgia had pretty good stats. But the reality is, when you look at the overall team, I just don't think he was one of the 4 best players in college football this season, which is not meant to be offensive towards him, because he's a good player. But at the end of the day, like, having lived through the pain that is seeing Hendon Hooker, it's like, you know, mixed feelings, right? We're seeing a guy who used to be with your team that got run out by your disgraced head coach, who you know always liked and support, and you want him to do well. But to see the player that he turned into, and what he was able to lead Tennessee to do, that is worth something in my book. In the same way that, you know, that's how you get and sometimes the aura of it, the effect of it, the seeing the player on the stage with the team is how you end up with like a Robert Griffin winning over Andrew Luck, just because of the dynamism and all that. And so I don't know if that's just how I saw it. So either way, CJ Stroud's going to win the Heisman. It's all good. Just kind of for show at this point.
Interesting. CJ, I know Strick's got a question for you real quick, but I want to dive into that. So you think that it's CJ Stroud? I was going to say that it's a Caleb Williams show now.
No. I think it comes down to CJ Stroud. I mean, you look at the numbers: 37 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 3rd best quarterback rating. He looked dynamic all season long. I mean, yeah, maybe that final game, not necessarily the best booster for the resume, but it's certainly close with Caleb Williams. If I was the voter, I would vote for CJ Stroud. I mean, you're right. It is darn close, but I think that the voters will factor in competition. I think the competition that CJ Stroud faced at Ohio State all season long, at least on the defensive side of the ball, are stronger than USC, who had a particularly weak Pac-12 schedule, given, you know, all the teams they could have faced. And then when faced with challenges, ultimately, you know, with a Utah 2 times over, you know, they weren't able to pull through. But I mean, it was a very dynamic player, and I wouldn't be incredibly surprised. I'd be very surprised if Stetson Bennett won. I'd be pretty surprised if Max Duggan won. It's a 2-horse race. I'm voting for Stroud.
Double A, man. Listen, it is absolutely crazy what's going on right now in the transfer portal. Like, you're talking about almost 5,000 kids now that have jumped in there
before the bowl games.
Right? It's absolutely crazy what's going on. I know that it is a way in order to build a quick turnaround from a program to find pieces that you might need. I understand all of that. But here's the crazy one, and I want your opinion on it because I'm really interested in getting a little bit of understanding on this. Alabama, which is one of the most stable programs that have been over the last 15 years or so or more, has now found that they have starters, not just people. You can understand where you have 4 or 5 stars that, just didn't work out for you. And now things have changed and you kind of move on. You can understand that. But you're now seeing starters starting to jump into the portal. And so touch on that. Like, where does this come from? Or is now Alabama starting to lose its savor? But then also now you have another dynamic where Deion Sanders is now over in Colorado, and you have over 200 kids of the 5,000 that have jumped in the portal are reaching out to him as opposed to him reaching out to them. That's crazy, but tell me those two dynamics and what you think we have going forward, because he's a great marketer as far as jumping in there and and letting them know what he's looking for. Come find me. You know where I'm at, type of deal.
Yes, Strick. Well, when it comes to the transfer portal, it's always going to be sort of a loaded question, if you will, because this is a dynamic in college football that we've never seen before. On the Alabama side of things, obviously, there's always going to be players that would leave Alabama on the lower end. Dudes who are just like, I'm never going to see the field here.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a good enough player to see the field elsewhere. That doesn't really change. I mean, it was like always the thing with Duke back in the day, even before the transfer portal was a thing. You have a lot of players come to Duke, on the hoop side, they would leave because they realized, I'm never going to play here. And Duke, lineup's too good. On the starter side, look, we have what equates to open free agency.
Right.
And the reality is that for coaches in this modern day, not only do you have to recruit the high school players, right? But it adds a whole new element to it because you are constantly having to recruit the players who are on your roster. It's like being in a subscription service, right? Like paying for Netflix. When you're paying for Netflix, Netflix constantly has to earn your business because you can always unsubscribe. You can always switch. And with the coaches now in a sport where I think more so than at the professional level, coaches have more power over the athletes, or at least they used to. Coaches tend to be a little bit harder on the athletes. It is certainly a different dynamic because, I can't say that no one's getting paid, but no one's getting paid directly by the university, at least legally. So there you go. If Nick Saban or someone on that Alabama staff says something that rubs the player the wrong way, he says, look, the grass is greener on the other side. So-and-so, I know that if I put my name out there, you're going to have every other Power 5 school in the country, willing to reach their arm out and scoop me up. And I'll probably get a pretty penny promised to me in NIL as well. So it's nothing against Alabama. And I'm sure that Alabama will replace the starters with, if there's not someone who they feel is sufficient already on the roster, they could go out and get a top tier player in the portal. It just is what it is. But, I don't think it says anything about Alabama's stature as a program. I just think it says something about college football these days. It's for 18 through 22, 23-year-old young men. If you feel slighted in any way, shape, or form, and knowing that you can go back into that recruiting phase and suddenly be God's gift to the earth once again, it's human nature. It's going to happen. And we'll see it, and we'll continue to see it over and over and over again.
Yeah, and then if you want to touch on that other point too, Andrew, me and Strick have talked about this extensively, just kind of the Deion Sanders effect. And is he going to bring a different look to college football now? Because like Strick said, there's guys specifically reaching out to Deion saying, hey, I'm in the transfer portal. Come get me.
Let me tell you, I'm excited. I'm very excited about what Deion Sanders is going to do at Colorado, first of all, because I think that Colorado is I don't want to call them a sleeping giant. I just think it would be really cool if they were good, like they were back in the 90s. And I think it's an all-star hire because I think what he's looking to do is create that island of misfit toys. You have guys who in the transfer portal, chip on their shoulder, Deion Sanders with that marketing prowess. People have seen what he did at Jackson State in quite a short period of time, albeit on a completely different level. But Colorado, beautiful place, desirable to live, good football culture, albeit not a great football team. I think that, he goes into that room in Colorado, and I think he already has, based on the results that we saw this season. So, look, I don't think you guys are, the vast majority of you are good enough to play for me. And in this current environment, if he can market the way that we have seen him do, and again, this is the guy that convinced the number 2 overall recruit in the country to go play sub-FBS football. You think you can't go get a bunch of kids out of the transfer portal willing to play? Now, will it be able to work year one to the point where they're competing really on the national level, like top 10? I don't know. I don't think so. That could be a lot to ask given where that roster is right now today. I think you give it 2-3 years. If it goes the way people think it's going, if he can go in there, get a good class of transfers here, have a modicum of success in year one, the recruits follow, a second round of transfer portal players, and hey, look, we could be talking about a future where the Pac-12 is completely reestablished, and it's USC and Colorado that are, the big dogs. So it's exciting. It's very exciting. I'm hoping for the best for him. And, for the Colorado Buffaloes, I think that early returns show that, this hire is a 10 out of 10, and it's going to have some schools saying, why didn't we think of this? Or it could go up in flames. Who knows? You know, he doesn't really have all that much coaching experience compared to what he did at Jackson State. But because of his, you know, recruiting abilities, he had by far the best talent he was seeing. So it's interesting, and I think it's the storyline to watch as, you know, this month of December progresses and as we go into next season. But I will say, you know, just this conversation we've had already, gentlemen, like, what I'll give the transfer portal. A lot of people hate it, say it's bad for college football. I have mixed feelings, but it gives us something to talk about here in a period of time where, you know, the bowls haven't started yet. The Heisman hasn't been announced. We got Army, Navy, and it's just like a complete reshuffling. But for, you know, a school like Colorado and potentially for a school like Nebraska, it gives them the opportunity to turn the thing around quicker than they might otherwise be able to do. And that's got to be worth something.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch, too, because Colorado's first home game is actually going to be against Matt Rule in Nebraska. Rule versus Sanders. We're definitely looking forward to that one. Andrew, last question I got for you. You said last week that Purdue is the best team in the country. They remain undefeated. Nebraska will host Purdue this Saturday. Do you still think Purdue is the best team in the country?
Nebraska will host Purdue this Saturday. Do I think Purdue is the best team in the country? Yeah, I'm starting to lean UVA. UVA is looking good. You know, obviously the University of Houston looks good. I don't give Nebraska ball much of a chance. I hate to say it, but we'll give Nebraska ball credit. Big win over the Creighton Blue Jays. Yeah. Wow, Strick. I wish I was with you. Also, by the way, Strick, I purchased a Kirk Strickland basketball card on eBay.
Did you really?
Well, it was a steal. It was a steal at the price. I expect to sell it for you know, upwards of $100,000.
Oh shoot!
Short time
and I love you for that.
Once I complete my quest of getting you the James Naismith National Basketball Hall of Fame.
Oh wow, man! Thanks, Double A, man. We always appreciate you joining us. Yeah, absolutely.
We'll talk to you next week.
Yes, sir. Go Big Red, gentlemen. There's no place like Nebraska.
That's right. That is very true. There he goes, Andrew Alex, 24/7 Sports. Always bringing good insights, Strick. Always bringing some good insight.
Yeah, he drops it like it's hot.
Yeah, drops it like it's hot. And I like that we mentioned Colorado, too, because Alabama actually is having assistant coaches leave for Colorado to coach under Deion Sanders. So it all just this hodgepodge, the transfer portal, NIL, coaching carousel, it all comes full circle when Deion Sanders is involved.
Is this an Aflac thing? Aflac competition? Where they have the goat and they have the duck and they have Saban and they have Sanders?
That might be what it is.
Well, I don't know. We got something going on.
We'll see, but I agree with Andrew. I think you give Deion Sanders 2 or 3 years, they could be
I still think it was the best place for him to go.
I completely agree.
I think go in there, take over the Pac-12, put yourself in the college football playoff with the 12 system, and then say, what's up?
Literally, he could say, come to me.
What's up?
Come to me.
Yeah.
We got to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Crossover with DP. Stay with us on the block.
This is Lindsay Teal from the Nebraska golf team. If you're looking for a Christmas gift for the avid golfer in your life, don't give them something they can't even use until spring. Get them the gift of indoor golf from Double Eagle Golf. Grab a gift card for a stocking stuffer or give the gift of a membership and let them golf all year long. Their space is also perfect for Christmas parties, corporate events, birthday parties, or anything else. See for yourself. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West Stowe Street.
You had to know that when Wingstop set out to make a crispy, juicy chicken sandwich, they wouldn't make it in just one flavor. They'd make it in all 12, like lemon pepper, mango habanero, hickory smoked barbecue, and OG hot. So why have one new favorite chicken sandwich when you can have 12? Try the new sauced and tossed Wingstop chicken sandwich today for only $5.49 at Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Valid for a limited time and available at participating Wingstop locations only while supplies last. Price subject to applicable taxes and fees.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
The Empire brand is growing with ESC fabrication and sandblasting. ESC is your place for custom handrails, industrial and commercial painting, and more. ESC provides custom welding for aluminum and stainless steel and media blasting of all sorts. ESC has great attention to detail. They stick to deadlines and keep within your budget. If you can dream it, they can make it. Contact ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting in Waverly today at 531-207-9329.
People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go.
Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Book your appointment today at nebraskaautodetail.com. Chances are you've tried fruitcake before. Chances are it looked pretty weird. Lots of colors that don't really exist in nature. Chances are it tasted weird. Chances are you need to try fruitcake again. Grandma's fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. None of that weird stuff you didn't like, just real fruit, premium nuts, and the delicious flavor combination of brandy, bourbon, and rum to meld all that together. See for yourself. Grandma's Fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Hi, I'm Steve Carper for O Street Carpet. For Christmas, we're doing everything possible to help you spruce up your home without making a dent in your holiday budget. If you need new wood flooring, new carpet, ceramic tile, vinyl, area rugs, or custom blinds, you want to shop at O Street Carpet. We offer 12 months same-as-cash financing, Lincoln's best selection in stock, free in-home measuring, and we'll install it right away. 730 O Street. We want to make you a customer for life.
Tractor Supply is looking for full-time team members for their Waverly Distribution Center. Tractor Supply has a new progressive pay model where team members receive 5 wage increases in the first 2 years of employment with the ability to earn up to $24 per hour. Applicants can expect a 3- and 4-day work week schedule with additional overtime days with both day and night shift schedules available. At Tractor Supply, they work hard, have fun, and make money. Apply today at tractorsupply.jobs.
In today's day and age, people are trying to do more and more projects by themselves. That might be better on the wallet, but it can also lead to painful sounds like this. Ow! Poor guy, trying to do wiring all by himself. Let's have another listen. It's just not worth it. Don't hurt yourself or make things worse than they are already. For any of your electric needs, call Joe at Ambition Electric today at 402-217-3415 or go to ambitionelectric.com.
Are you a veteran looking for a new companion animal? A dog? A cat? Or maybe something else? The Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs Vets Get Pets program can cover up to $350 of your pet adoption fees. Visit veterans.nebraska.gov/vetsgetpets to learn more about program requirements and how to apply. Want to help support the program? Get your Vets Get Pets specialty license plates from the Nebraska DMV. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Nate on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're no Jay Foreman right now, but the old school crew of DP and Nate Doggy Dog, Stricky.
Yo.
We in the building.
Thirsty Thursday.
It's cold outside, but we're warm in here. It's hot on the block in here. DP, tell us a little bit, just real quick. You have a tremendous podcast that has been, listen, I've been on the show and I absolutely love it. Briefly, kind of tell us about the podcast that you're now doing.
I was asked by a friend, David Locke, who is the play-by-play guy for Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
And he started a podcast network. It was just him, like Locked On. And it was just, as he says, that after games, he has this noggin full of information, right?
Mhm.
The thoughts and
I know what you're talking
right?
about.
And
Yeah.
he just need to get them out, right? So he would call. At first, it was empty the noggin, right? I'm just going to empty the noggin,
Nice.
right?
I like that actually. That's kind of dope.
Right, but then in his connection with the Jazz, he said, okay, well, I want to be focused on this thing. So he started the Locked On Jazz podcast,
Mhm.
and then because of what it did and who he was, that he created a net. He said, well, why is this just limited to the Utah Jazz? It should be all around the country. So it started out with NBA teams, and now it's all over the country, where whatever your sports team is, there is a Locked On for
Whatever.
it.
Locked On Jimbo Fisher.
Right, like whatever that is, right?
Garbage. I threw that out for a reason.
Right,
Garbage.
right, for whatever that is. And there's over 190 teams that are covered on this Locked On Sports
Wow.
Report. And
wow,
he reached out. He says, "Look, I don't have anybody for Locked On Huskers." And I just thought that there was a dude. I just thought there wasn't. And so he asked me if I would do it. And I said, "Well, I don't really have time, bro. I really have time." He goes, "Listen, I need a half hour a day." Half hour a day. I'm like, okay, So I had to go to the boss.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, boss, look, there's another half hour off the table. You cool with it? And she was like, yeah, go ahead. Like,
No, that's
it's good,
dope.
It's good. It's good. So we release it every day. We do the thing. And today, I don't know how you were in my head, because literally for tomorrow, so I'll record it today for tomorrow. And I just recorded it. And a big part of the conversation today was 335.
That's why I wanted to bring it up. That's what we're going to ask
The
you.
335, because of Tony White and the word that he will be the defensive coordinator and what he brings to the table. Now, anybody that's going to be considered for Nebraska defensive coordinator has a bag. Now, there's brand, your thing, the thing that you do better than anything else. And then there's all the other stuff that you can do at the same level or just beneath, but you're there. So he's not limited to 335, but 335 is kind of his bag.
His baby.
Like that's his go big red. Like I'm a 335 dude. I'm familiar with it because I understand. As a receivers coach and offensive coordinator, I like to run spread offense.
Exactly.
Like I like to
That's
spread
ACC
people out,
style.
right? Like I need athletes. I need athletes. And so if I don't have the best talent, then I need to create space for the real good talent that I have.
Right.
And the best way to do that is 55 across, spread them out and maybe I can get my best athlete against maybe not their best.
Yeah.
athlete.
A safety, a slower safety with some speed.
I just need
a
one
tight
space.
end that's a hybrid. Yeah.
In its space. I've been asked to be a defensive coordinator in several situations that already ran the 335 or some flex on it. And the flex part is the key. The 335 is simply
It's a base.
It's what it allows you to do. We always say as an offensive and defensive coordinator, the easiest people for me to attack are people where I know where they're going to be. Like in a 4-3 rock solid, I know where
you can
you're
put
gonna
hats
be.
on. Yes.
I know how to attack the 4 guys up front. I know what vulnerabilities the 3 behind them have. And then if I attack the front 4, I know what the back 4, what their duress, the thing that stresses them out the most, which is vert.
Vert, middle,
So
seams.
defensive back safeties, like your biggest fear is house, that somebody goes vertical. The 335 allows you some mystique because
roll some guys over.
Well, because I can flex from a 4-3 in a first or second and mid level and not lose any personnel off the field.
Got you.
The thing about it is that it takes some unicorns out there. You need people that are good at all 3 levels at the same time.
Does Q Newsom fit in that?
Depends on who else is on the field with him.
Okay.
So think of JoJo Doman.
Yeah.
That JoJo
the versatility
didn't mind walking up and setting boundary, but here's the thing about those unicorns. They can't be elite at all 3. They can be really good at them, but you can't be elite at 3 levels as a defender. It's just not possible in today's college Power 5 game. Asking a guy to take on Ohio State's 315-pound silverback up front at 225 pounds isn't logical all the time. But there are times when you can put him in that space because if you're going to defend the stretch run and set a boundary where you need the other 10 guys defensively to fill from the inside to wherever you are at the numbers of the hash, then it works.
Yeah.
Now,
so a good example of that would be like.
Let me get to an ID, and we'll get to you.
Oh,
in
yeah.
just a second.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
I want you to continue to expound, but I want to throw this name out there for you and tell me if he fits at least two of the three.
Okay.
Jalen Ramsey.
Yes.
That's the type of guy that you're.
Brad says Micah Parsons.
Right?
He's a 2 or 3.
Well, but here's what happens if Parsons is your guy. What happens if you put Trey Palmer and I isolate Palmer against Parsons in the vert space where it's all hands on deck? Well, guess what? Third level,
he's dead.
He's weaker than he is everywhere else.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So there are times that.
So you need like a Jalen Ramsey.
Here's the thing. It allows you to match up. You can walk those guys up. You can walk JoJo up into a 5 front for short yardage.
Mm-hmm.
You can walk him up into a 4-4 or 3-4 from that flex position and be pretty solid for most things that a team can run. But what happens if you get Trey Palmer matched up against JoJo Doman
on a wheel route or something?
It's a problem.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But what I've done is I've taken away some of the things that you can do. I've taken away your freedom to call whatever you want whenever you want.
And it masks a lot of stuff too, right?
Right. So now as an offensive coordinator, when I face a 3-3-5, I'm never quite sure what I'm getting.
Mm-hmm.
And while it creates some duration, some duress for me, some stress for me, some mental stress, right, of looking for where people are, it also gives me some advantage. Because quite frankly, in the Big Ten Conference, 90% of the plays where a flex is on the field, I'm running a big thumper at him. And look, he may make a play. He may get under my guy and stop me at the line of scrimmage for tackle for loss. But over the course of 30 plays, that 315-pounder.
Wait.
Oh, that lean on.
Lean on me.
Lean on me is a real problem.
Right.
So then it requires that the defensive coordinator has depth at 3 levels to replace the flex. Then it requires that you have depth at the flex, because we saw that JoJo couldn't play every game. Why? Because the wear and tear. And you're asking a lot, and you need a supreme athlete, an elite level athlete, both mentally and physically. That means you have to have somebody that knows all 3 levels in every scheme and every game down and distance situation that you're going to be out there on.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. And you can't find, look,
it's tough to find.
There's no assembly line for these athletes.
Yeah, that part.
You have to be elite, and then add to the fact that you're talking about getting those athletes to Lincoln, Nebraska, right? Because there's not necessarily a pool of those guys sitting in Nebraska within 5-mile radius for you to get them here.
Right.
And you've got to do it now. Like, you do it now. So you're just going up and down the transfer portal looking for these elite athletes, hoping, praying that they want to be a part of your system, a part of your program now, with no promise that you're going to go to a bowl game, that you're going to get an NIL deal that's exceptional or elite, or that you have the established coaching staff that can teach you and develop you right away. Guys in the transfer portal don't always have 4 years to get it right.
Oh, yeah.
They are in some now
They're
business.
looking for the now.
They're in some now business, and it's not always easy. So
good stuff, DP.
It allows for a lot, but it requires a lot as well.
Good stuff. DP breaks it down. Locked on Huskers.
Yeah, go give it a look.
Go give it a look
YouTube.
On YouTube, man. Listen, I
Amazon.
happen to join. Amazon too?
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
It's all the way around.
Yeah, DP breaking it down, man. That's some in-depth
Keep
stuff.
breaking it down.
We're gonna continue on. DP's gonna keep going, keep the ball rolling, bowling down the aisle.
We got plenty.
Knocking down pins on the next time you come through in here. We're here 2 to 4. DP now kicks in from 4 to 6, and it's Thirsty Thursday.
Yes, sir.
Kevin Meyer is going to be joining as well. We've got to get out of here. It's our time to be up on the block. Tomorrow will be Friday, but today is over for me and Nate Doggy Dog. Come back and see DP now as we finish out the rest of this day. I might hang around for a segment or two. E Strick, Nate Dogg out on the block, 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com. We out.
See you tomorrow.
This is your High School Minute.